My name's David Asmussen, and I own and operate Bluebell Farm here in Bowdoinham, and we grow all sorts of mixed vegetables and perennial fruits and berries and even some nuts. And we are at the Bowdoinham Farmers Market every Saturday during the summer, and then we sell to local restaurants and natural food stores. Bluebell Farm started in 2012, originally in Cape Elizabeth, and then we were searching far and wide for farmland, and then we found really good soil and a wonderful community in Bowdoinham. So here we are in tomato land. We have some red slicing tomatoes down the middle here, and then we've got different cherries on the outside, some heirloom varieties over there. On the far side, the north field over there, that is cucumber land. Here we are in Elderberry Land, and the elderberries are just flowering now. Saint Germain or elderflower liqueur. Here's your elderflower. It smells lovely. Vote with your fork. Everybody gets 3 votes every single day, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And how you choose to spend your food dollars makes a big change in the world. It is wonderful that people are discovering all the agriculture that's right here in their backyard. Thank you. Robust food system in action right here. The milk from 2 miles that way. Yeah.
I'm Maggie. I'm the one that the farm is named after. When people learn what the name of the farm is, a lot of times the first question out of their mouths is, "Oh, like the Bob Dylan song?" Nope, nothing to do with the Bob Dylan song. We moved up here 2 years ago, roughly from southern Indiana.
And we landed here by chance.
It is it's completely accidental. When people would ask us, well, where are you looking? What farm are you looking at? And we'd say, well, in Bowdoinham. And they say, oh, Bowdoinham is a great community. So we had no idea. We just accidentally landed in the best community in all of Maine.
Everyone around here, so many farms, so many great people. It's such a different vibe than what was in Indiana, where they were all in competition with each other. Whereas here, everyone's helping each other out. And, you buy from other farms, and it's kind of just a whole cycle kind of thing.
I was raised on a dairy farm where the family had a farm and the whole family worked on the farm.
It's not a corporation with a family name. It is a family, mom, dad, and the kids. And that's the kind of farms that we see around here. Families that are working together, raising their children on the farm, teaching them about the land and how it all works together, how to give back as much as we take out. People are so interested now in where does my food come from? What do these animals eat? How are they treated?
We want to control the ground itself, the grass the animals eat, so that they produce the best quality of milk and meat. And primarily what we make is what we eat. We aren't just making it for the public. We eat the very same thing, so we're, I think, our own critics, and we try to really control what we do here.
I'm Abby Sadauskas, and Jake Galley and I farm here at Apple Creek Farm. We raise grass-fed livestock. We manage our animals organically, and we raise beef cows, chickens, we raise goats, sheep, and we produce turkeys and geese for the holidays. We market year-round, so we sell all of our products at farmers markets and then through 4 or 5 local food retailers.
And our products include eggs is a really big producer for us. We raise about 900 laying hens currently right now.
So they get a fresh pasture every week so that they're eating fresh grass.
This is where we raise our, this is one section of the pasture, I should say, where we've been raising our broilers this season. And broiler chickens are basically a meat chicken, and we raise 2 different breeds, Cornish cross breed, which is the white bird, and then we also raise a breed called Red Bro. So I grew up at what we call the home farm, which is just over a few stone walls and through the woods there. The farm was established in 1985 by my folks, when they moved from Brunswick to Bowdoinham with their small flock of sheep, and cleared the land and brought their 3 kids, which I am the youngest of. So I grew up making hay in the fields that we still currently make hay out of with my dad and my brother and my sister and my mom. And so for me, it was just kind of like what we did after going off to school and coming home and traveling around for a while, and finally decided that if I was gonna farm, I wanted to come back to Bowdoinham to do it.
Bowdoinham has this pretty amazing energy. People are really excited to help each other, and that's what makes it pretty special. Yeah, I feel super fortunate that we farm here in Bowdoinham.
My name's Sean Hagan. I own and run Left Field Farm here in Bowdoinham. And Left Field Farm is an organic vegetable farm. We grow maybe about 4 acres a year in vegetables. In this field we have our spring brassicas. So this is broccoli, broccolini, cauliflower, cabbage, kales. So we've been harvesting off of this for a few weeks. We have another set of this mix of crops on the other side of this tunnel to keep us continuously in broccoli and kale for a little while. We'll grow heirloom tomatoes in here, and bell peppers and sweet Italian peppers, a little bit of basil. And then in our other tunnels down there, we've got cherry tomatoes and more heirloom tomatoes. I really love the tangible aspect of farming, that there's a physicality to the work and you can see the effects so clearly. So to be able to plant something, tend to it, watch it grow, and then harvest it and get it to someone to feed them feels quite rewarding. I feel like being able to grow food for people, to know those people, where it's going, feels very good.
I'm Beth Schiller, and you're at Dandelion Spring Farm on the Ridge Road in Bowdoinham. And I've been farming in Maine for almost 20 years. But I bought this property in Bowdoinham and moved my business here in 2018. We grow around 10 acres of produce each year, and half of our crops are typically sold at farmers markets and half to restaurants, both in the Camden-Rockland area and in the Portland area. Our crops are all certified organic by MOFGA, and about a quarter of our business typically is salad greens, and then we also raise quite a few herbs. So here at Dandelion Spring, we like to intercrop as much as possible. We're trying to play the balance between being a production farm that is growing year-round and also making the use of all of our space and cater to the crops that are a little bit different. So here we have Spigorello, which is an Italian type of kale, and it is underseeded currently with some beets. And in the winter, the space is typically filled with spinach and other greens. I think one thing that's really important to me as a farmer is being a leader to my community, but to my staff in a way that can show farming as a sustainable lifestyle. So I, as a farmer, am trying to figure out how do I continue to pay my staff a living wage and have them work sustainable hours, but also figure out how do we charge the true value for food. And that's not a conversation that we've been having publicly yet. And particularly with economic sensitivity, I don't know how to have that conversation, but I challenge us as a community to start to talk about farming sustainably for land and for people. I think it's really wonderful that Bowdoinham is a town that supports so many farms, and I feel like there is not a saturation point yet for growing food in Maine to feed Mainers. We still have a ways to go, but we can do it, and I think we can be a really amazing example for the rest of the country about how we can be feeding ourselves, and Bowdoinham is definitely a star in that regard here in the state of Maine.
I'm Gabrielle Goslin, and this is Nathan Drummond, and this is our farm, Six River Farm. We've always tried to sort of have a one-stop shopping goal in terms of customers coming to the farmers markets and being able to get pretty much any produce that they are looking for, at least in terms of vegetables. To be able to grow food and healthy, safe food for ourselves as well as our community means a huge amount to us. We enjoy being able to just pick our food fresh and eat it that way, and to know that people can feel safe and comfortable eating our food and that it is nourishing for them means quite a bit to us.
This is one of our fields. We call Tracy's field. We have a a larger field that's over off the Browns Point Road, and then this field and a couple then smaller fields off Centers Point Road as well. So all in this wonderful neighborhood of sort of East Bowdoinham. Farming right near the water provides a nice climate for those crops. It's also a very beautiful place to be. It's a very dynamic ecosystem. We actively aim to sort of farm in a way that protects that habitat as well. You know, I think that farming is ultimately, it's a somewhat humbling profession. It's almost a guarantee that the point you feel like you figured something out, then sort of nature throws a curveball to you and you realize, you know, how much more you have to learn. By being highly diversified in the crops we grow and the seasons that we grow in, it allows for things not to go according to plan sometimes, and for the farm to be resilient enough to overcome that nonetheless. And I think that speaks to really maybe an older tradition of farming where you grew a little bit of a lot of different things or raised a range of different animal crops as well, and with the idea that not everything had to excel, but at the end of the day, if enough things did okay, you know, you had an ability to make your livelihood and feed yourself. And I think that is still very true and a very beneficial approach to farming even here in the 21st century.
I bought this land in 2009. I put in a driveway and put in a house and started Stonecipher Farm, and we grow mixed certified organic vegetables, some fruit. We grow ginger and turmeric. Of course, the town really couldn't be better. I hear horror stories of living in other towns and what farming in towns that are not farm friendly is like. That's the opposite in Bowdoinham. It's absolutely, definitely a part of the town's identity and pride. Not just that there's farming, but that there's so many small and so many organic farms. We've transitioned into a no-till system, and so now we're doing like a layered compost planting system, which means that weeds aren't as much of a concern. Like, that's how much weeding I've done in here. So because of that, it's really easy to grow these intercrops in here, because sometimes you have to put down plastic, and once you put down plastic, then putting secondary crops in gets harder. Before the coronavirus, 90% of our sales were to restaurants. I went from delivering to restaurants twice a week, year-round for years, to it just stopped, just like for them. They went from being open 7 days a week, 6 days a week, whatever they were, for however many years, and then one day they're just closed and no one really knows, you know, what the next move is. So that was us as well. We'll see. We all have to build in even more resiliency, that boring, repetitive word, resiliency, that sounds nice and no one's quite sure how to afford resiliency. You know, resiliency is the opposite of efficiency, and we've run our society on efficiency. Resiliency is the opposite of that. It's having enough for everyone, enough redundancy to be prepared for things not going right. And so I don't know. I think we're at a real crossroads, not just farms, but as a society right now, that I can't really guess which road anyone's going to choose. I know what I'm doing. I chose a life and a lifestyle and a set of ethics long before this that hopefully are going to just sort of sail us right through this. And we'll see who comes with us and what that looks like.